Hey everyone, in today's class we are going to do part 4 for locomotion and movement, that is structure of myofilament. Now in previous section we have already discussed about the structure of skeletal system, skeletal muscle, and then we have also discussed about the structure of the muscle fiber. Now, we have seen in the previous class that the muscle fiber, one cell of the muscle, we call it as muscle fiber. Each muscle cell consists of one myofibril. Each myofibril is called as the see, we have studied that the cell hota hai, cell ke andar nucleus will be one second, nucleus will be there, then we have endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, and also these are the cell organelles. So what is a cell over here? Muscle fiber. Then inside the muscle you have an organelle, we call it as myofibril. This myofibril is composed of or made up of myofilament. What are myofilaments? These are the smaller contractile protein as per your NCERT, but when I'll teach you, I'll explain you the regulatory protein as well. So it consists of contractile as well as regulatory, but as per NCERT, it is smaller contractile protein. Now, these smaller contractile protein consist of two proteins. What are the two proteins? Actin and myosin. नाम में ही है, myosin means motu, that is thick myofilament, we call it as myosin. So automatically thin will become the actin. Now since it is thin, light can penetrate easily. So since it can penetrate, we call it as isotrophic band. Isotrophic start with I, so it is also called it as I band. Kyunki light can pass, we call it as light band as well. Now myosin is a motu myofilament. Motu hai to light will be able to pass, yes or no? No, it won't be able to pass. So it is which kind of band? An isotrophic band, which is also called as A band. An ka A aa gaya na, A band. Since light cannot pass, it is also called it as dark band. All the three names are compulsory for you to remember. During contraction, what happened to actin? So basically I'll show you the structure, but basically actin slides over the myosin. Abhi bas sun lo, you will understand this. But during contraction, what will happen to the myosin? Myosin is motu cannot be moved, so it will always stay at its own position, no sliding. Only patlu can be sliding, that is actin can be sliding, right? Now single, this is pyq of some very long back, they asked this question, so just remember if you want. Now, you can remember one single actin and one single myosin. Myosin is more too. That means it is requiring more than actin. So, actin required three myosin. That is, one single actin is surrounded by three myosin. But one myosin more too, and it requires zada. So, it is surrounded by the six actin. You can just simply remember this. That's it. I don't think so. It's going to be coming, but still, just remember it's a PYQ. Okay, now actin and myosin both are the contractile protein which are arranged as a rod-like structure. You will understand this, parallel to the longitudinal. Okay, let me just make it. So if I'll make a one myofibril, inside this many myofilament will be there. Let me show you three myofilaments. Okay, so this here I showed the myosin will be there, then actin will be there, actin will be there, actin will be there. So these actin is also rod shape, myosin is also rod shape, and how they are arranged? They are arranged parallel to the longitudinal. See, this is the longitudinal myofibril, so it is parallel to the longitudinal myofibril. Also, it is parallel to the myosin. So the वही यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि arranged as a rod like structure, both are rod like structure, parallel to the longitudinal है, यही बताया parallel to the longitudinal है. Then parallel to each other, obviously myosin and actin both are parallel to each other and responsible for muscle contraction. This fourth point you will understand when I'll explain you the mechanism. Right, now let's understand the mechanism from this diagram. Very important about the structure. Okay, abhi if you will see this structure, the beach wala, this motu wala, we call it as myosin. And this myosin, since it is motu, can light pass through? No, light cannot pass through. So this whole blue color is which band? This is A band. The entire blue color we call it as A band, that is anisotrophic band. Then the entire pink color, it is the actin, that is thin band. That means light can pass. So this entire band, what do we call it as? We call it as I band, or this band is called as the light band. ठीक है, A band dark band हो जाती है. ठीक है. Now you can see that some part. Let me just show you once. That some part of the actin. Acha, before this, let me explain this. So actin is connected with a line, we call it as Z line. What is this line? This is nothing but the elastic line, elastic filament. Let me show you. Z is the elastic fiber which is attached. I think I said a filament, that is wrong. Elastic fiber through which both the thin filaments are attached. Actually, dekho, this is the whole pink one. This is one actin filament. Now, but this whole is I band, right? So half I band will be there here and half I band will be there. So around this side, around एक second. Ah, now this side, this is called as half I, this is called as half I. So together we call it as I band. Okay. So always remember the I band will be connected together through a elastic fiber. We call it as Z line. Why elastic fiber? Because during contraction, this Z line has to move towards the M line. Now, what is M line? M line is the thin fibrous line. Whenever I use the term fibrous, that means it is very, very strong so that it should not be broken down. ठीक है? This was about the M line and Z line. A band you understood and I band you understood. अब मेरी बात ध्यान से सुनना, ठीक है? Now यहाँ पे let me just mark it. So we have understood what is A band. Then we understood half of I band, which I'm writing I band only. Okay, but you know that it is half of I band. Okay. Now there are some portion which is overlapping. Just check this one. Isn't this actin overlapping the myosin? This, since it is overlapping this part, what do we call it as? O band. So this is called as O band, right? And the part of actin which is not overlapping the myosin, what do we call it as? I band. This we call it as I band. Okay. What about the part of myosin which is not being overlapped? What do we call it as? See, whole myosin is the A band. Now this, in this whole myosin A band may, if I want, this O band is also coming now. This A band may O band is also there, right? So now A band is the entire myosin. What about the myosin which is not being overlapped by any band? That type of zone we call it as H zone or the Henson zone. Okay, let me show you again so that easily you will be able to understand. See here. So let me make a myosin. This is your one myosin and this is your another myosin. Okay, now let me make M line. This is M line. Okay, now let me make actin. One actin, second actin, and then I'm not making further. You know how it is. Okay, one actin, second actin. Now understand one thing. What did I say? Okay, let me make it so that it will be easy. Another actin, another actin. Oh, let me make a straight line. 1 second. So this is your M line, and then let me make a Z line. डाउन तक जाएगा. अब देखो इसे. So this whole one we call it as A band. The entire myosin we call it as A band. Then this part which is coinciding with the myosin we call it as O band because overlap kar raha hai O band. Now what about these band which is not overlapping? We call it as I band. Forget about half I. You know that this is half I and this another side is half I. But we are not focusing on that. Okay? Then the part which is not covered, this we call it as H zone. This we call it as H zone. I hope you are clear, right? And this is Z line. Okay. Now you only think that just now I said myosin is so motor that it cannot move. So who will be moving during the contraction? Only and only actin will move. So when actin is moving, it has to move towards the center line of the myosin like this. So during contraction, what will happen? The Z line, this actin will slide towards the M line. This actin will slide towards the M line. When it is sliding towards the M line, obviously Z line will also come closer. Yes or no? Z line will also come closer, right? Now see here, understand this. So this actin will move towards the M line. Now see what are the changes. can you see the H zone, which was earlier this much, which was earlier this much, got decreased? Can you see that? Can you see H zone got decreased, right? Then next one is your overlapping zone. Just see, earlier overlapping was only this much, but now see overlapping is from here till here. So overlapping increases or decreases? Increases. What about the Z line? Z line come closer to each other. Z line come closer to each other. If I'll ask you the distance between Z line and M line, it increases or decreases? It decreases, right? If I'll ask you about the H zone, what happened to the H zone? It get decreased. O zone got increases. What about the I zone? See, earlier I zone was this much. Now I zone is only this much. So what happened to the I band? It got decreased. Very, very, very important. Do not mug up all these things. Just make a diagram and understand. Now let me show you in this diagram. So here, now if you will see here. So after contraction, what happened? The overlapping zone was only till here, but during contraction, what happened? The actin will move towards the M line. When it moved towards the M line, what happened? The head zone got decreases, the overlapping got increases, I band get decreases, and your A band, there is no change in the A band. It is as it is, because the entire myosin is not going to move from its place. Only actin is going to move. That's what I have written. But what is a sarcomere? Sarcomere is nothing but one Z line to another Z line का distance. See here, यहाँ पे लिखा है ना, it is the functional unit. Very, very, very important PYQ. What is sarcomere? It's a functional unit. What is the function of muscle contraction and relaxation? So functional unit of muscle contraction, it is the portion of myofibril between two successive Z line. That means it contains all the contractile protein. What is the formula? Just look it over here. Okay. So what is sarcomere? This green is your one Z line. This another green is your Z line. Okay. So this we call it as sarcomere. So is sarcomere में can't I say this half I band is coming? Can't I say this the whole A band is there? Can't I say this is half I band is there? So what is the formula? Half I plus A plus half I. This is the formula for sarcomere, right? So length of sarcomere increases or decreases during contraction, competition, I was about to say. It decreases. I band decreases. O band increases. Overlapping over here increases. S zone decreases. A band no change. Very, very, very important. What about the length of actin and myosin? Actin is only sliding. There is no change, right? And the distance between Z and M line decreases and Z line pull inwards. That's the reason the distance get decreases. Now for this whole concept, do not mug up all these things. Just make a diagram. Make a rough diagram, and during contraction, pull it and check it out how much distance is there. Okay, so you will understand during contraction. This is very, very, very important with respect to the PYQ. Now, when there is extreme and maximum contraction, what will happen? This actin will overlap the M line. You won't be able to see any M line, only the Z line, which is much more closer. So, what will happen to edge zone? There won't be any edge zone. So, edge zone will disappear. This is the line of NCERT. This is the line of NCERT. Okay, so that's all about the structure of the myofilament. Now let's jump on the structure of the contractile protein. We will study about this in the next part. Let me check. I think we can go in the next part. Yes, we will deal with this in the next part. Okay, so that's all in this video. Thank you.